Welcome to TopSolid 7 and another sneak peek at some of the new improvements to the up-and-coming release TopSolid 7.6. Here we have a part that we want to prepare for manufacturing. So let's get started. I'm going to right-click on it and I'm going to go directly to a machine part setup document. In this document we're going to describe the stock condition for this part. Now I could easily just go here and start shrink wrapping a standard block around this part. Of course, we can drag the grips, we can set values as we want, and notice as we're setting them, we're even updating the overall size of that stock material. This is important because you want to know how big that stock material is, and this is information that we're giving you dynamically on the fly. You can of course use a single margin as well, and we're going to update all of that information again just as you saw before. Now in my case, however, I want to use a custom prepared stock condition. Okay? So one of the changes to version 7 is we made it or 7.6, excuse me, we made it very simple to switch between a standard block, a standard cylinder. So for example, you can choose where you want your rotation axis to be, have a round piece, or a user-defined stock model. Okay? In this case, what I'm going to do is define my stock model dynamically within this design. Here's how. I'm going to right mouse button click and I'm just going to say I'd like to create a new in-place part. In fact, this is just a little assembly that we're working on right now. You can see here in my project tree it created my part file, and I'm just going to call this stock for 8 blah blah blah. Okay? We don't care. Now from here I would like to start drawing in the center of this block. I have no idea where the center is. That's okay. What I'm going to do is select that face, hold Control, and select that face. And I'm going to go to my Tools tab, and I'm going to choose a midplane. Like that, TopSolid 7 automatically creates a midplane based on those selections. Now you don't have to select them ahead of time. You could just go to midplane and then go select the faces you want. Either way works. Now that we have our midplane, I'm going to select it and create a sketch. And like this, I'm going to hide that because I don't really need to see it. I'm going to start sketching out my custom stock. Perfect. Now, I would like to be able to add a centered constraint or centered dimension on this part, but again, my zero is over here. So how are we going to deal with that? I'll go back to my Tools tab, and I'm just going to ask to create an axis through that part there, and who knows what face that is. It's somewhere in the model. I don't actually care. I just need an axis for my point of reference. And now we'll go back to 2D Sketch. Real quick side note, in TopSolid 7.6 we've split the sketchers. We've always had a 2D and a 3D sketcher, but it was always in one tab. Now to make it easier for our end users, you have a specific tab that contains only 2D sketching, and you now have a 3D sketching tab as well. So we're going to come back to here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose Constraint. And maybe I'll start by constraining this. Maybe I want that to be 2¼ inches. Why not? And I want that to also be centered about that axis. And I can continue changing this till I get it exactly how I want, and it will always be centered about that axis. Now here I can do the same thing. I can say I want a center dimension off this, or instead I just want to know that I am 100 thousandths there. And we'll go here to the same thing. We'll say 100 thousandths there, and of course the sketch is becoming defined as I go here. And we'll do the same thing here, 100 thousandths, and why not here to that edge, 0.1, and then maybe this is a total of 3/4 of an inch. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and extrude from there. I'll get out of my constraint, and I'm going to right click and choose Extrude. And I want to do this as a centered extrusion. Why not? And I'm just going to extrude till I see I'm a little bit bigger than my part. How about there? 18 inches works for me. I'm going to validate. Just for fun, I'll change the color of this to be green, and how about a little bit of transparency as well. And we'll exit out of there. Perfect. I've made my custom stock. Now I just need to tell the software to use it. So I'll go back into here. I'm going to remove that here. And I'm going to change my enclosing shape to be user stock. select it. That's it. And now we're done, and now you've been introduced to some of the new features of the stock prep environment within TopSolid 7.6.